right. Good morning, good day. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are watching, you are joining us online. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for linking up this morning, and we'll be so snappy about what we shall be talking about. And this is Rito Surge Online, and then wherever you are watching me, I know some are watching from different parts of the state and different parts of the country at the same time. Possibly, we could also have some watching from outside the country. Now, there is no limit to this meeting right now. All right, now without taking much time, we'll be talking about forward habits selling forward habits. Now, if you are conversant with me, a lot, you know that I love talking about habit. I love talking about attitude. I love talking about systems because I believe that those things are necessary to actually achieve your desire. I always say that whatever has been documented can be duplicated. That is all what life is about. In as much as it has been documented, it means that whatever you want to achieve has been achieved before. And that's why, when you know those who have achieved what you desire, you only need to know the systems, the structures, and the habits they develop and the activities that are engaged, so that when you know all those things, just take after them, then you're still going to see what you desire. That's already their achievement to be duplicated in your life. It goes in business, it goes in life, it goes in finances, it goes in a whole lot of things. I've shared with you times without number, when we were bankrupt, we were deeply rooted in debt, and then I went to someone who I didn't even know that is just like that. And then in our conversation, I made known to him what was actually a great issue to me. And as I was talking to him, he was just rocking his chair, rocking his chair. And then after I finished my own, explaining my predicament, his response was, real estate sales is all I knew. And then that was the first day that I got initiated to real estate sales and marketing. Little did I know that we'll be where we are, and we are not even where we are going to, because we were given a template, we were given set of rules, we were given guidelines, fundamental guidelines to follow. And then lo and behold, there hasn't been any anxiety, there hasn't been any fear or worry. Even if there are challenges, I believe those challenges are temporal, and then we do not make the mistake of making permanent decision on temporary situation. That's why when it comes, we overcome, then we proceed. So today, I'll be talking about selling forward habits. Selling forward habits. Now, if you're talking about selling forward habits, what actually are you expecting? There is a quote from me that I always love to say, and then that is, success doesn't meet you where you are. Success meets you where your habit leads you. Do you understand that? Success does not meet you where you are. Success only meets you where your habit leads you. So it means that success does not respect you as a person, but success bow or success yields to the dominant habit that you embrace. So if you now agree with me that success does not, appreciate you, success does not even recognize you. What success recognizes is a habit that is formed. And the one thing about habit is that habit will either attract or habit will repel success. So which habit are you intending to form? Which habit are you intending to permit to shape your experience in life? Now, if it's possible for you to have negative habits, failure habit, or to have success habit. Now, if you have success habit, then you only need a set of fundamental principles or attitude or guidelines to follow, and then those are also going to determine the activities you engage. And then once that is done, then you are good to go to succeed. It's only a matter of time. So that's why, I love to start with that quote, that success doesn't meet you where you are, but success meets you where your habit is leading you. So where is your habit leading you? Or where are your habits, leading you now? Now, if you now talk about selling forward habits, it's not enough to desire to sell forward, but to develop the habit of selling forward. And you agree with me that habit is not even developed in a day. You will use to my kind of statement. Habit is not developed in a day, but habit is developed daily. Habit isn't developed in a day, but habit is developed daily. Now, everything you allow into your mind, into your life, maybe in the words you hear, the counsel you go for, the consultancy you embrace, the training you go, the advices you take, the film you watch, the conversation you permit, the association you engage yourself with, and then every other thing, all of them are coming together to contribute into what eventually form your belief system. And then once your belief system is formed, it has, it puts indelible mark on your mindset. And this mindset is what forms your habit, and this habit is what controls your action. So if you have successful activities, you go to training on all those things, and they eventually contribute, some resources into your life, then most, if not all, of your decisions are going to be taken as a result of the solid rock that have been established in your mindset that eventually determine your action. So I'm trying to let you know this so that you will know that there are some habits you need to demolish. Some habit has already formed, stronghold in our lives. You need to understand it. Some habits have already formed stronghold in our lives that you believe that you can never be, you can never. You see, most of the you can never, or most of the time, you don't want to shift ground in a way, especially on things that are not working. They are majorly the reasons why you have not changed your state. Yes, because you need to be able to form this habit of being successful. And then if you don't demolish your present habit that has been the reason why you are stagnant or why you are not having much result, especially that has to do with sales and marketing, if you have not demolished such structure that have been formed, the stronghold, you will not be able to build a new set of successful habit. Now, what are selling habits? What are selling habits? Now, I want to define selling habits, with respect to 5 different understanding. Now, selling habits are, habits that keep you ahead of your target. Selling forward habits are habits that keeps you ahead of your target. If achieving a sales revenue of 10 million, 20 million per month, is the target that is set for you, then you should not set targets that will give you equally that 10 million per month. Are you getting what I'm trying to say now? Now, if the sales target that you have been given is 10 million, 20 million per month, just ensure that the target you will set for yourself, the habits you will develop within yourself to determine the target you set for yourself should be much more than the 10 or 20 million that is the target. So, like what I said, sales habits are habits that keep you ahead of your target. Now, number 2 definition of selling forward habit is that habit that provoke consistency, not activity. Habit that provoke consistency, not activity. Now, you need to understand that not every activity is actually resulting into productivity. And so it's not about you engaging yourself in sales activity without being consistent on the one that will actually bear forth result. So selling forward habits are habits that provoke consistency. Even when you don't feel like it, you need to do it. But consistency on any subject has to do with engaging yourself in particular set of activities that have been set to ensure that you experience productivity. Now, whether it's in your best position, whether it's in your best mood or not best mood, you need to engage in this activity. So consistent activity has nothing to do with I am not in the mood. No, you don't have to be in the mood. You just have to do what you need to do so that you will experience the selling forward, the selling forward habit that we are talking about. And number three definition of selling forward habit is that these are habits that help you to forecast and prepare, not just react. It helps you to forecast, like selling forward habits. That means you are not seeing negativity. All what you are seeing is positivity. You enter the market space with the mindset that you have come not to play, but to gain. You have come not to impress. You have come to impact. You have come not to be part of the addition, but to be a factor that activates the market. That is one good definition of selling forward habit that you need to embrace and to understand. It's just about, it will help you to forecast and prepare yourself for what is achievable in the marketplace and not just to react. When you get to the market, you have already prepared yourself. Now, if you say rejection, you don't need to react to rejection. You need to respond to rejection. Like, you need to get, the free ebook that I sent some months ago that has to do with handling 70 objections, in sales and marketing and their corresponding responses. You need to learn that, because if you don't have a focus and you are not prepared for it, you're going to take every response as reaction, and that will take you out of the market. And the fourth definition is that, the fourth definition of selling forward habit is habit that align with the future that you want, not the past or the present that you regret. Habits that align you with the future that you want, not the past or present that you regret. Now, many people dwell so long in regret of the present or even the regret of the past in such a way that they never take time to see what is going ahead. If you are looking at the future with the Google of the past, there is no way you are going to be inspired at the end of the day. So habit that align with the future you want, not the habit that makes you regret, the past or the present. And the fifth definition that I will give on selling forward habit is that habits that always make you remain positive and not negative, regardless of your experience or the experience of others. Now, you need to inoculate yourself, you need to inject yourself that if anybody will sell in the marketplace, if anybody will be profitable in the marketplace, it is me. If there is anyone, then it has to be me. Now, if I appear, others don't have chance. You have to look at yourself from that angle, because that alone infuses an internal energy within you, makes you to be excited, and then gives you a good approach to handling issues each time you get into the marketplace. That is the fifth definition of selling forward habit. Now, for instance, now, you may say that starting your sales day may be very, very tough, but that doesn't mean that you should deny it, or that doesn't mean that you should stop it and say that because the day have started on a very tough, on a very tough ground, then I think today is not meant for me. No, 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 you don't need to do that. Now let me quickly go because I want to create time for question and answer. So let me quickly run through all the 5 selling forward habits that I have for us here. They are very, very simple. They are things. It's just that we have not, we have not arranged it so well. We relate with them haphazardly. That's why we are not getting much result. Don't forget that we spoke about consistency and then being positive, so that you'll be able to have the desired experience you have. Now, number one habit of selling forward habit is the power of 1-to-1-to-1 rule. Yes. the power of one-to-one rule. And then I can also call it the FPP rule, the power of FPP rule. But let's just say, for the sake of understanding, let's just say that it is the power of one. That is ratio one-to-one rule, and I call it FPP. Now, and then this has to be activated before 10 a.m. every day. Yes, every day, 10 a.m. FPP. The first F, that letter F stands for follow up. That letter P stands for prospecting, and the other letter P starts from personal branding. So that means when you wake up every day, that is one of the habits of sales champion. If you ever want to keep on selling forward, don't forget I said selling forward habit, not selling once in a while habit. It's about selling forward habit. So if you ever want to keep on selling forward, then you need to follow this FPP principle, which I call the power of ratio one-to-one. And all these things has to be done before 10 a.m. in the morning. Number one is that you make a follow-up call. It may be to 1 to 2 to 3, based on how you dealt with your previous day, activities. So before 10, you make a follow-up call. And then the other P is prospecting pitch. You prospect to new set of people. Then number 3 is that you work on your personal branding. This has to be done before 10 a.m. every morning. This shows that you have actually resumed back to work. You see, most of the time when you don't show up, then people will not see any reason why they need to patronize you. You don't know that people are watching you. Your prospects are watching you. Your former clients are watching you. Your neighbors are watching you. Now, if they don't see consistency in the power of rule ratio one-to-one, they may not see any reason why they need to take you serious. Now, if selling forward habit is what we are talking about, then you need to allow this to be part of your daily ritual, daily habit. The power of ratio one-to-one rule, or the power of FPP. Like what I said, it has to be done before 10 a.m. every morning. You do a follow-up, you make a follow-up call, then you prospect, then you work on your personal branding. Always appear. People you need to call, new prospect you need to communicate with, and the personal branding post you need to get done. Personal branding. I'm not talking about you putting to the face of the people product that you are selling. The product is not what builds your personal branding. It's what you are able to personally offer as value to people, not the product, but it falls more into the services. Now, that is what you need to do every day, virtually every day. I do a post, across all my social media. I do not even post land, but in one way or the other, I always generate leads. I always have people, throwing things on my inbox, making inquiries, initially conversation. Why? Because of this law of ratio, of this power law of ratio one-to-one. Number one, I said make a follow-up call. Number 2, prospecting pitch. Number 3 is personal branding. Now, the second selling forward habit is the client-based calendar. Now, you need to block every 60 minutes of your daily strictly with client outreach. No distractions. You are now talking to your client. That is when client, you know that you actually focus on them. Of course, it will not be every 6 minutes, like 24 hours. No. You can have you can create a space. Yes, you can create a space. You can create a space. But first of all, you know that this habit 1 is what is now drawing down to habit 2. Because if you are making a follow-up call, then you are referring to the existing client you have. So now, we're not going to make a client-focused calendar. Now, based on the appointment you have already had with your client, then you now fix up a calendar. Don't just fix it arbitrarily. The way we are doing our clients is like amoebatic. I'm a batting program. A member doesn't have schedule, doesn't have shape. Sorry, doesn't have shape. So in the same way, your appointment with clients doesn't have schedule. Is anytime you bunch into their privacy, you think they will give you their green light? They're going to give you red light. Or Benny, can't you see? That's what they are going to say. But you must ensure that you have a well-programmed, schedule with your client. And in as well as you keep that schedule program with your client, you are good to go without any distractions. Not that you'll be communicating with your client and your client will be perceiving some external distractions behind. You don't have to be inside a public transport to make a call to your client when your client will be hearing Oshodi, the matter. He does not speak well of you. Or maybe you are a nursing mother. Your client is not hearing the voice of the baby you are breastfeeding. The client not responding to you well. It's not that the client does not have babies. It's simply because you are not professional enough. Hope you understand it now. So you have to be client, you have to organize a client focused calendar such that your client will know that you actually prioritize him or prioritize her. Number 3 habit of selling forward habit is review and reflect nightly. Every night, all your daily activities, you must ensure that you review them and you reflect on them. You review them. Now, you need to ask your question. Ask question like, what actually works for me today? What actually will work for me tomorrow? What principles or tools did I mistakenly apply today that I ought to have applied a day before, or I need to apply the previous day? You need to ask yourself such questions. The subsequent day, sorry. You need to ask yourself such questions, because if you don't review and reflect, that means you don't think. And this word is for thinkers who are actually grabbing out wisdom from every past activities, so that they come out better the subsequent days and they eat the market big. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say now. So you can't afford not to review. If you are not review, you cannot reflect. If you cannot reflect, you cannot renew. And if you cannot renew, you cannot be rewarded. So you need to understand the progression, how this one goes, because life pays better those who have gone through all this review, renew, all this, review, reflect, renew, and reward processes. And the moment you permit yourself to go through it wisely, then it will be easy for you to, to always sell forward. You are selling forward. Even when you make mistake, you are still selling forward. Are you getting it now? Number four, daily habit. Number four habit, of selling forward habit is that you need to engage in daily affirmation of results. Daily affirmation of results. You need to speak your goal like it is done. Today, I am connecting with 5 new clients and closed at least 50% of the deal. Are you getting it now? I am connecting with people that matters to my sales, to my services. The first person that should speak to you is yourself. Before anybody speaks to you, speak to yourself. Because the word that might be coming from another person may not be such that we encourage you. Excuse me, everybody is looking for whoever will speak to him. So instead of waiting for people to speak to you, which I know they may not speak to you what you wanted, you have to permit yourself to speak to yourself. You need daily affirmation, daily positive affirmation of how you want your result to look like. Excuse me. I used to make use of this example. Before Edie began to receive awards everywhere, if she has not won all expense paid trip to Dubai, it will never be less than 3 times. If she has not, she has won golden watch, she has won tablets, she has won several. In fact, she has won a lot, even winning, emerging twice. She has won cash. She has won emerging twice as highest sales rate of a particular company, won it consistently. Before she got to that stage, she used to introduce herself that standing here is your award-winning realtor. As a matter of fact, she began to write award-winning realtor before she began to win award. Collect those things that be not as though they were. This is daily affirmation of result. What result do you desire? Now, there is every tendency for you to be deceiving yourself, especially if your confirmation is not in line with your action. Now, you cannot be making affirmation that you will make it in life, and then you are still sleeping on the bed even till 12 noon. By 2 p.m., you are still tying your wrapper. By 5 p.m., you say you are now going out to your client's office, and your client closes 5 p.m. You will not meet anybody in the office. How are you going to progress in life? No, you must make sure that your affirmation is in alignment with your action. Each time she meant, now I'm presenting it to you. I'm your back-to-back award-winning realtor. I'm your this realtor. I'm your this realtor. People begin to perceive. That's what they call perceived value. You must just make sure that your real value is not against what people perceive you to be. People pay more for perceived value than the actual value. You need to get that now. That is why your personal branding is very, very needed. And your personal brand does not only need to do with your logo, with what you put there, but the consistency of your communication, the consistency of your rapport, the consistency of your response, the consistency of your goodwill, the consistency of your appearances. One or two people that you have dealt with now trying to talk about you. Now, listen, the last radio station that we went, when after we were through, the presenter called us that immediately we left, that there were some people that called them, that you see those people that you just interview now, mention my name, mention Edith's name. He said they are good people. He said they are people you can do businesses with. The radio presenter was the one telling us that. And what have you? And then when they mentioned the name of some of the people, they had the people that we have known, or that have known us for more than a decade. Now that means they have seen consistency like that. So you see, one thing about branding is that it may not pay today, it may not pay tomorrow, but it will surely pay. By the time it will pay you in arrears. It will pay you the dividends of all those things you have been investing into it. That even when you come, people will say, what are you selling? Why? Because you have taken that to be your branding, and there is what they call brand loyalty, so to say. That people will know that there is a sincerity with what you are presenting to them. So you need daily affirmation to be able to say, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing, and your action is backing up your daily affirmation. The last selling forward habit is weekly reset and replan. Weekly reset and replan. Now, every Sunday night or Monday morning, whatever, you need to reset and retarget and visualize your win. You reset, you retarget, and you visualize. You see, stop dwelling on your past success. There are two enemies of your future success: your past failure and your past success. Your past failure will make you think that there is no need for you to attempt, that success is not meant for you. Your past failure will tell you that I have been trying, there has been no result. So success is meant for different kind of people and it's not meant for you. Your past success will make you feel that you have arrived. That look at all of them around you. You are the one that have had the most result. I mean, you will never see the reason to advance forward. So your enemy of future success is not only past failure, it's also past success. So what this weekly reset and replan will do for you is that it will reveal to you, that you ought to have more results than what you had in the past. If you have done it well, if you have taken this step, if you have involved a team, if you have done this, you have done that. That is what review and replan does. It makes you review, all your steps. It makes you know that this time, last time you spoke so much on this, you're supposed to speak and touch this. That if your client have had this to be said, to be part of this, your client base will have reduced, or they will have poured more into that investment. So you need to do weekly reset and weekly replan. And so every Sunday or every night, and it helps you to retarget. Whoever target nothing can never miss target. Because if you don't target anything, any stone we throw will be taken as your target, and then you can't be rewarded for that. Are you getting it? Now, can you imagine a football game and there is no goal post? Anywhere you shoot the ball, the ball will go down. And then who will now reward all those team players? No one. So you need a target, and and you need a retargeting, a review, a replan. And by doing this, it will expand you, it will enlarge you, it will increase you, it will make you go for a higher, for a higher achievement. Those are the things that I really want you to know. And then, and all these things will thrive higher when you have a correct mindset. Don't say, I hope I sell. You need to say, I am prepared to sell. Those are one of the, this is one of the things that you must change in your conversation. You have to feel good about yourself. Stop saying, I hope I sell. Start saying, I am prepared to sell. Stop saying, let me see what comes. Start saying, I am creating my week. Stop saying, I'm waiting for my client. Start saying, I am positioning for them. Hope you hear now. Stop saying, I am waiting for my client. Start saying, I am positioning for them, because they will come. It shows that they will come. If you are waiting, you may waste. So that's why you need to position yourself and attract. Not that you'll be pursuing and pursuing. You are not a nomadic salesperson. You are a strategic salesperson. So when you get yourself positioned, what happened? So the future belongs to those who prepare. The sale belongs to those who are persistent. So pick one. Pick one. Go for this. The future belongs to those who prepare, and the sales belong to those who are persistent. You need to be persistent. You need to be prepared. You don't need to take no as an answer, knowing the real meaning of no in sales that is getting you closer to your yes. Let me just stop here. I hope you understand the few points that I've said, and God bless as many of you that are able to join. God bless you, and God bless you. Now it's time to ask questions.